This is the very first deep sky photo that I have ever taken in my life, and I captured it using this little smart telescope. This is the Dwarf 3. Now, I have no prior experience doing any astrophotography. I have no complicated setups, and I just decided to one night go out to the Everglades with my buddy Carlos. Now, like I said, I am a complete amateur when it comes to astrophotography, and somehow this tiny little device helped me capture another galaxy that's 2.5 million light years away. And let me show you how that night went.
We're here in the Everglades, and right now we can see the whole entire sky. So this is incredible, but there's a million mosquitoes everywhere. So
Yeah. Because we can see a lot or we can see nothing.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Dwarf 3 out right now. I already have the tripod set up properly for the EQ mode, so I'm gonna run it through the EQ mode, and we're gonna just capture maybe two different spots. We're gonna see how long it takes to actually really capture one location in the sky really well, because take out the Dwarf 3 right now, and we're gonna get to it.
And like, this was my first time ever using a telescope. I didn't know anything about EQ modes. I didn't even understand how to find the Andromeda, okay? And to be honest with you, I felt like I was going to totally mess this up, because the first time I saw this telescope and I started like actually doing a little bit of research, I got very, very intimidated. But the Dwarf 3, okay, makes it super, super simple and easy for you to get started, even as a complete beginner like myself. Now, when you first set up the Dwarf 3, you're going to you're going to put it on a tripod, okay? The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to connect to it, and everything is run via an app on your phone, which is very nice. There's like no screens on the device. It's all handled by your phone. And the first time that you actually use EQ mode, the Dwarf 3 will actually tell you what angle you need to set it at and what type of angle rotation you need to set it at to kind of capture true north. And it will tell you if you messed up. It will tell you, hey, adjust me just a little bit more, and then you're going to get it. So that is definitely a huge, huge bonus for Dwarf Lab. I just really like the user interface of the app itself, just guiding me through the steps, because like I said, total novice here. Now, once you are in EQ mode is really nice, because once you're in that mode, it will literally track an object in the sky. And this is very important when you have these very long shutter speeds, like 15, 20, 30-second shutter speeds. You want EQ mode. You want the telescope to follow whatever you are tracking. If you did not have EQ mode, you're going to just see a bunch of streaks everywhere because of the Earth's rotation. Once you are in EQ mode and everything is set up, you go into deep sky, where you are able to literally select what you want to shoot that night. You can either have a list of locations. So for me, it was the Andromeda, but you can also look at literally a sky map of anything that you want to look at. Now, this is what I'm telling you, man. The Dwarf app is very, very intuitive and super easy to use. Like, can you imagine me as a total novice trying to figure out where Andromeda is? I wouldn't even know how to begin finding Andromeda in the sky. Okay, to me, everything just looks like Andromeda. So once everything was set up, Carlos and I went into my car, because the Everglades, if you guys don't know, Everglades is filled with mosquitoes, and that night was particularly brutal. So we just stayed in the car and we had a nice little espresso while we waited for the stacked images to complete. Now, this was a 250 image stack, and each image took 15 seconds to take. So if you do the math, that was just a little bit over 1 hour of exposure time. And because we didn't want any light pollution, we had just a red light that we used inside the car just to kind of help us keep the light noise down. And while we were in the car, I could, wirelessly see what the Dwarf Lab was doing. So every time it took a picture, you could just see the Andromeda brighter and brighter and brighter. And it would literally do the stack kind of like right in front of us. You could see the Andromeda kind of unfold right in front of us. Now here is the cool part. The Dwarf 3 will actually create a stacked JPEG when you are finished. So you can literally get the final stacked image from the telescope onto your phone, and then you can post it immediately to social media or just, keep it for yourself. But if you want to be adventurous, which is what I wanted to be, I wanted to get the raw TIFF files from the Dwarf 3. And let me tell you guys, that was probably the most challenging thing, okay? It's not challenging to get the TIFF files from the Dwarf, but then to actually process the images in these, like I was using Siril. Okay, Siril is a free program that helps you stack images, and it helps you really process those TIFF files. And man, listen, props to the guy that made Siril, but that program is like stuck in 1998. Okay, it literally, like, you're running scripts, and there's like the user interface is very outdated, but it's free. Like, what? I can't complain. Okay, I cannot complain about Siril, but it is definitely a big challenge to use this program, and it gave me a lot of, it was super challenging for me. So I had to go through it multiple times to get the correct stack at the end. But I was able to figure it out, and the first image that you saw and the image that you're seeing right now of the Andromeda is actually post-processed by me. All the 250 TIFF files were stacked together, processed in Siril, and then afterwards, once I got the stacked image and I cleaned up the stars a little bit and made a couple adjustments, I took that stacked image into Lightroom, and then that's where I was really comfortable, and I was able to really manipulate the image into what I wanted it to look like. So then yesterday, I felt like, you know what, man, we have a beautiful full moon, and I am going to take advantage of this, okay? So I went out and I just literally went into, I think it's called free mode, okay? Free mode literally lets you fully control the telescope however you want. So then in that mode, I was able to just, look at the moon, and I was able to autofocus into it. I was able to adjust my shutter speed, my gain levels, and just taking one image using the Dwarf 3 really gave me a very nice looking image. But again, I wanted to take it a step further. So I took 50 images, and then I stacked those in Siril again, and then I was able to get kind of like this just richer image that I had just a bunch more data to play around with and just stretch and just really make it my own. And this is what I got. Now, for literally taking me 15 minutes, okay, to take these, kind of like to set up the telescope and then take the 50 images, I got to tell you what, man, this is not bad at all. I feel like, I personally have never seen the moon like that, actually, from an image that I have ever taken, okay? I have telephoto lenses, but I have never taken a picture of the moon that looks that good. And of course, you can see detail, you can see the craters, you can see, asteroid impacts and all these different things. And, the quality of the picture that you're getting, it's a TIFF file that gets, exported into Lightroom, is very robust. There's a lot that you can do to it. And I do want to mention real quick, when you are moving around the Dwarf 3 and just kind of adjusting the angles and, the rotation up and down, it moves really quickly, okay? You can make it move very fast, or you can make it move very slowly and precise. And in this case, or you can just move it by hand if you don't want to mess around with the little motors. So what I did was I got it as close to the moon as possible, and then I just made very fine adjustments, and it worked out very nicely for me. So now, guys, I want to give you my honest, true opinion as somebody who is a very novice in this field of work. I got to tell you guys what, man, you astrophotographers, major respect, okay? Because this is a very difficult hobby, in my opinion, okay? You have to, go outside in, these conditions that have to be, just right. You have to kind of, understand the rotation of the earth. You have to understand, where these, subjects are, where the Andromeda Galaxy is. And I know none of these things, but the Dwarf 3 really made it easy for me to capture these images. Oh, and also I totally forgot. Okay, the battery life on the Dwarf 3 is incredible. Okay, we were out there for like a little over an hour, and I had like 70% battery life left. And speaking of the battery life, I do want to talk about real quick, the Dwarf 3 has actually built-in storage. It has like 128 gigabytes of storage. So you don't have to mess around with any micro SD cards or whatever. When you want to take footage out of it, you just plug it into USB-C, and then USB-C into your computer, and now you can see it just like you would any external hard drive. So yeah, guys, that is it for me. I didn't really want to go into super deep detail on how to use the Dwarf 3 because there's a lot of great tutorials. There's a lot of videos out there, people actually showing you how to use this device. I just wanted to give you a perspective of somebody that has never used a telescope in their life, has never done any astrophotography. And with all of that said, I was able to get these two beautiful images, man, and I am beyond happy. So if you have any questions, please leave those in the comment section below. And if you want to discuss more about the Dwarf 3, I'll be more than happy to answer whatever questions I can answer for you. So yeah, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.